Okay, Course in Miracles, text chapter 13. Ding!
Yeah.
Verse 1.
Brave.
Introduction. If you did not feel guilty, you could not attack, for condemnation is root of attack. That's a good one to unpack. It is the judgment of one mind by another as unworthy of love and deserving of punishment. But herein lies the split, for the mind that judges perceives itself as separate from the mind being judged, believing that by punishing another it will escape punishment. All this is but the delusional attempt of the mind to deny itself and escape the penalty of denial. It is not an attempt to relinquish denial, but to hold on to it. For it is guilt that has obscured the Father to you, and it is guilt that has driven you insane. Da da da. Spoiler alert, you're insane. All the ideas that we could be separate is insanity, according to the Course.
And then the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting change.
Expecting a different result, doing the same thing. That's a good one.
Is that similar to the Course?
The Course does, yeah, I guess. Well, the Course says,
not really.
The Course says it's dumb. The Course calls that a mistake, is what it says.
Okay.
It's a mistake that needs correction. But insanity is thinking, is driving you insane, committed to something that cannot be, and that you cannot be separate. Back to the beginning, though, if you did not feel guilty, you could not attack. So all attack, if you reverse that, all attack comes from guilt. So anytime that you could feel guilt
Or shame, right?
or shame, it's because it brings about an attack. And so what we end up doing is bringing up something worthy of attack. That's what the guiltlessness gets to, and then we're projecting out there onto the world these offenses that are worthy of attack, and so we end up attacking. But those offenses are it's all mind stuff. It's all projection. They originate within us because there's only one consciousness projecting out, and then we project it onto the other, and then we make the other what it is. Let's see, was another important part. Herein lies the split. So the split mind, what it's talking about there, is so it's the judgment of one mind by another as unworthy of love and deserving punishment. So the split mind
between one person and another person, or split mind in your own mind?
Split mind is our own disassociation with ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me to say that I am Javon is the split mind. It's the mind split up into pieces, so that we can have a separate existence. And that's actually the human nature is prone to that. It's a very common psychological disorder to have dissociated personality disorder, DPD. I don't know. That's a real thing though. And there's a movie called Split. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a guy who
I think so.
I forget the actor, but
isn't it Spider-Man?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
I watched that one.
Yeah, that guy's a dick, by the way, in real life.
Is he?
Yeah, it's really strange because he's such a good actor. Yeah, as a good boy. And so we basically have it baked into us to have this split nature, but the split nature doesn't know what's good, because the nature itself of the split part, the part that's separate, has reversed good things with bad things and bad things with good things, and it calls things separate as good, separate and scarce as good, and it calls things connected and abundant as bad and worthless. It's the reverse world. Verse 2. The acceptance of guilt into the mind of God's Son was the beginning of separation, as the acceptance of the atonement is its end. So once again, the beginning of separation is the idea that I could be separate. And we have separated ourselves from God. And then Ken Wapnick goes into this a lot, and he talks about we've given this thing life. We've given the ego life because we are God. Like the original source of all that is, where this idea of what it would be like to be separate came from, it came out of all that is. And so the idea itself is powered by the power of God, so quite powerful. So we've made a whole universe. And so in this egoic structure, this ego identity that doesn't want to die, that wants to stay separate, the ego now wanting to stay separate talks to its other split parts and is like, hey, listen, I can't believe you did this to God. You left God. Like, how could you do this? Man, God's going to be so pissed that you left, because in order to leave, you had to take life, because there's only one life. It's only from God, and God is one. And if you took life, that means you have it. You killed God. And so that's the message behind that the original guilt, that is that you destroyed God, and or God, you took that very life that God wants back, and God's going to come and get it. Mm-hmm. And so there's this darkness within each of us, and the Enneagram speaks to that darkness that we all try to cover up and do the best we can to stay far away from, because it's the most terrible thing that could ever happen to you, is to get to the darkness. And that terror is this guilt, this substructure that all the personalities and all of our hanky-panky is built upon. More than anything, we want to get away from this guilt that of our separation from God, because we think we did it. We think it's our fault. We either killed God, which is crazy, or we took the most valuable thing from God, and now God's pissed and is going to come and get us and damn us to eternal separation and torture if he catches us. And so what do we do?
Well, you're saying like that's what's taught in like churches and stuff?
No, that is the course. That's what it teaches. That's the ego's message. That's what the ego is telling us.
Okay.
And so,
I mean, I never thought of it that way.
there's a lot of story in the Bible, in this course, but
subconsciously, my ego is telling me that.
Yeah, subconscious.
Okay.
And that's why it's better to die than to submit fully to love. Because if you submit fully to love, you're submitting fully to God, and God's pissed. You don't do that because you took life.
It's funny, we're watching this documentary on World War II, the Nazis. Mm-hmm. And just watching, like, the Japanese, they said, like, they would fight to the death, you know.
Kamikaze.
And then there were a couple, like, one of the Germans was being interviewed, and he said his sergeant or captain or whatever said to, kill that guy that they found on the road, and he walked him off the road, and he said, I'm not a killer, and like let him go, and turned around, and I was like, gosh, it's so crazy. Like some of the people were like bombing civilians, like humongous towns, like I don't know, 44,000 people at a time, and then going back and killing the other 60,000.
Yeah, just shooting them one by one.
Yeah,
often. Yeah.
And I was just
horrific.
I was just thinking the Japanese were like the people that were like, I would rather die than like surrender. I don't know if surrendering is love, especially in war, but...
Well, it could be similar, right? Because the Japanese had a
dictator.
Well, they had a belief system that it was valuable to die in battle. That was part of the belief system. That there was value in that.
Sure.
eternal value, and then there was eternal value in giving up. And surrendering. That was the worst that you could do. And so in a similar...
So it's like honor above all.
That's right. That's right.
By virtue, not allowing somebody else to dictate your life, because that's not life.
Right. Oh, got it. Okay.
That's right.
Falling on your own sword.
And but in a similar way, the ego has a very all these, religion in general has that. It's the you're gonna drip on it.
Oh,
that's a blessing. Real quick. Ego and religion. There's the similarities of the thought structure goes way past death. It's like how do you get somebody to do something all the way to the point of death?
Right,
well, you just make a bigger story
after death,
right? And the ego story, and that it's told all of its parts, which are all of us, is that you have to stay alive, and that you took life from God because God's one, and now it's two, and so now you killed God basically, and now you should feel horrible and guilt, and now in order to stay alive, you have to stay separate, and to stay separate, well, you got to keep this to your grave. Basically, it doesn't offer like reincarnation or anything. It's just this guilt that we carry around forever. It's not a very good deal when you put it that way, but that's kind of the story. But the acceptance of atonement, though, is to realize that we were never separate. But to realize that you were never separate means that the thing that I hold the dearest to, this separation life, my Javonness and all Javon's wants and desires and goals and uniqueness and beautiful there. It's so interesting and pretty and spiritual, that Javon. Uniquely spiritual, not universally. That I cherish it above all else. And so, but the atonement is that never was. And I'm with God, and I'm actually watching the script, watching the character on the screen, and then you could play with it. It's the guru buying the boots on in Redondo Drive on Rodeo Drive, whatever the fancy way to say it is. Rodeo Drive, right? It's like, wow, why is that guru buying $5,000 boots? It's like, well, why not? There's nothing wrong with it, but it's the attachment to the whole thing that makes it painful, right? There's nothing wrong with me wanting to take care of my family and keep them safe, but when I'm attached to safeness and then I yell at them all the time for not being safe and attacking the very people that I want to keep safe, it's like, well, something's gone cuckoo. Why are you being so cuckoo, bro? Like, because I'm keeping you safe, right? I get nutso. Look, the world you see is the delusional system of those that made by guilt. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What's delusional? So, just like I just described how I go cuckoo, it's delusional. Look carefully at this world, and you will realize that this is so. That was 2 and 3. For this world is symbol of punishment, and all the laws that seem to govern it are laws of death. Children are born into it through pain and in pain. Their growth is attended by suffering, and they learn of sorrow and separation and death. Their minds seem to be trapped in their brain, and its powers to decline if their bodies are hurt.
Okay, real quick, because that's crazy. I was just thinking of my daughter, and you said kids, and then you read about kids. I didn't yell at her last night, but she cried because I think she felt bad about what had happened. She has a tendency to do this thing where she makes kind of this pouty face to kind of guilt trip her sister into doing things, and then Harper says, okay. And she was she taught her a dance, which I thought was so nice, but she was like, Harper, do the dance. She's like, I don't want to. She was embarrassed, and it was late. It was time for bed. She's like, just do it. Like, it's great. I taught it to you. It's good dance. And I was like, well, why don't you do it with her? She's like, well, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, well, she doesn't want to do it either. And she's like,
Neither
well,
wanted. She just wanted her to dance.
She's like, well, why not?
Dance
like,
monkey.
That's what I said. I was like, babe, she's not a circus monkey. You can't just tell her what to do and then, you know, do that like puppy dog eyes when she says she doesn't want to do it and guilt trip her into it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be that person to her. And I guess a part of me, I didn't yell, but a part of me kind of feels bad about, I don't know, like, am I doing the right thing?
We all have childhood wounds, and it's interesting. It's part of the regimen, and this is all course technology, right? Not necessarily how it is. It's the whole thing. Keep in mind, this whole thing, all these things that we're doing right now, it's through the lens of Helen Schuckner, or however you say her name, through her vocabulary, through her like love of Shakespeare, and so it all comes out this way. And there's lots of dualist, non-dual teachings that are trying to put into words that which is indescribable. So it always comes out differently. But the point of the whole thing is that the point of the whole thing is that the thing that we think is real is not real, or at least it's not as real as we think. That's the first step. It's not as serious as we think. And this whole commitment to how things are serious and some things aren't is the belief that there is death. Serious by itself, the word means this can lead to death. You know, let's get serious about this. And if we threw out that part in the belief that we're going to be okay, that the reality is God loves us, or at least the creator, the one who's behind the whole show, the light itself that enlivens the whole shebang, is for us. And that even more so in a non-dual way, the teaching is we're already with and complete with God, and that the work is already done, and that there is nowhere else to go. And even if that weren't so, at least it's all going to work out, and that everything that comes my way is for my good. Like that kind of overall picture.
For me,
even how we mess up our kids.
I know. See, like for me, I'm like, if it's easy for me to be like, okay, I can go through life and I can mess shit up and I can be this person and not feel, you know, a lot of shame anymore. But for some reason, I feel this like huge responsibility for my children.
Yeah,
and I
normal.
And not just because like of how they act with other people. I think they're pretty good people, and so I don't really correct them so much about like, you know, say please, say thank you. I mean, I do, but not like in a mean way. But a part of me now is thinking like, if I don't teach you how to not like guilt people into doing things or like manipulate people by making them feel bad about not doing it, then like, are you gonna have a hard life? And I feel like I'm helping you to not have a hard life because you're not gonna understand why people don't want to be friends with you. And I don't know. That's where like my brain goes.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing is, I think it can go either way. Like, I don't think there's any. I think it's very good, and it's like expected for you as the parent to teach your child that, right? It isn't right to guilt people into it. That total negative polarity, and maybe
I was hoping you would say that.
Yay! And then I think. Yeah, but I think the sadness that's felt for both you and and your kid, it's probably there is a judgment within you that you haven't integrated, right? Like there's either
judgment on her, judgment on me.
Mm-hmm, yeah, like the part of you that wants to like get your way, maybe. Or the part of you that feels like people are getting their way with you. Like there's that like some part of you that feels
well, me meaning my daughter, my other daughter, because I feel like
you like there's a part within you that feels like you are either a victim or the perpetrator at times, and that part of you haven't integrated yet.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and you know that it is in you if you feel bad about it. That's the trigger.
Yeah.
And kids are beautiful. I mean, kids and spouses are the best teachers ever.
Yeah.
Because they're just so close in your proximity, and there's no break that you can get away and reset.
So her saying dance monkey is like me saying say thank you.
when you're like, I can't believe you'd say that to your sister. You know, it's like it's a super negative thing. Of course, it's nice to be nice to people, right? It's nice. It's good to be kind. It's wonderful to be loving, all that stuff. But when it comes up in me, then that's my lesson now. And I could say, I could just be in total love and peace. It's like, dear child, wouldn't it would be much better life for you to be kind, you know, and not be reacted at all. But instead I'm like, go to bed. Right? Because it's their training, yes, but it's my lesson now.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself for not yelling. I've been doing pretty good with that.
I've been doing pretty good too. Better. I've been doing better. All these reminders.
Good.
But the whole thing, and the wonderful people in the world, the really wonderful people like that Oswald Chambers quote that I shared before. It's the people who go through the most pain and the most suffering and the most failure and the most destruction, but then choose to forgive and love again, become nourishment for other people. And why is that? Well, the Course says it's because you are releasing the barriers to love that have always been there. And some people just have more barriers to love, but they don't have less love.
You think they have more love because they had more barriers?
Well, the Course also talks about how the people that have gone through the more barriers, so to speak, like they're messed up, they're like effed up.
Like
they become like they don't. The
maybe.
Course doesn't say this, but they become like warriors of light. Is basically what it is. Like from the spirit side, they're looked upon as amazing, valiant warriors. Like, dang, you addicts, or you know, like that video that you sent me. She was a prostitute, drug addict, and now she's she's pitching God everywhere in this sort of way. It's like, man, warrior, that's amazing. So you've gone through the worst, and the lower dregs of darkness that you've gone down into and come back out, you become an amazing healer. Because it's like, what could someone have gone through that's going to phase you? You know, you take a goody two shoes Sunday school teacher and go hang out with a prostitute murderer for a little bit that wants like to get right, you know. It's like she a lot of times they're not a good fit for them because they get all flustered over silly stuff. And the prostitute murderer is like, you know, what's your problem, you know?
It's a normal Sunday for me.
I just did this, like, they can't handle it, right? As opposed to just like, you know, well, you know, let's look about reaction and how that works. Is this working for you? Is this something we can let go? You know, it's just like,
you'd be a good counselor.
Nothing flappable.
Why do you go into that? Get paid.
I actually did. I did this for a long time. I couldn't figure out how to make money. But yeah. Anyway, I agree with Sue.
To the point.
And so back to the original thing is everything is for my good and everything is from God, and this is the whole universe has been shifting and moving around for me to have this exact experience right now.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I said to my kid.
I don't prefer it.
I was like, you know, I don't want you to be sad about this. I understand why you're sad. I was like, she's learning so much more than I did at her age. Like, she's so mature, you know, and I'm so grateful that she's willing to listen and learn. And I think it's so cool. And I was like, babe, you're not in trouble. I'm not mad. It's just a learning opportunity. And she's like, yeah, I know, you know, but my mom never sat down with me and taught me like anything. I learned the hard way. Like, my friends didn't want to be friends with me anymore. And I think that's where that fear comes from. Is like, I don't want you to turn out like I did.
Yeah.
I had
I
some
already
really
make those mistakes. You don't have to make the same ones, right?
Yeah.
And you did great with your kids, Bradley. Your kids are so cool.
My kids?
Yeah, your kids are really cool.
Thanks.
Yours kids are cool, but the thing about it is that the people who are the greatest actually have a hard life. It's not giving people an easy life that makes people great. It's people having a hard life and choosing to love and forgive anyway that makes people great. Now, does that mean that you don't support your kids? Of course, support them. You love them. You do the best you can.
She have like, oh, sorry, you had a bug.
Thank you.
I'd rather she have a hard life now while I'm here to support her.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely. Yeah, have a hard life with people that are around you that want to support you instead of a hard life with people who don't give a crap about you. It's way better. Yeah. You know, parenting is an interesting thing. Sorry. Get away from me, Bob. I've had this conversation a lot with Carolyn because she I'm always telling her she's making my boys into milquetoast. Stop making my boys into milquetoast. You know, because they're like, Mom, number 2. No, Oliver's like, give me a 2-4. I'm like, what the hell is a 2-4? She's like, oh, well, that's a certain meal he likes. I'm like, what are you short order cook? What the heck's going on over here? They've got like little nicknames of specials. So I'm like,
that's cute.
And so, you know, I want a 2-4. And then Charlie's like, I like a flat egg. I'm like, a flat egg? What is a flat egg? And it's like this special way that they want the thing. And Carolyn's like, you got it. And Carolyn she loves getting them like nutrition. So like it's her thing. Like if she can make them something nutritious.
Awesome.
But I'm like,
I love that about her.
But then she'll be like, I feel so tired. I don't want to make this new meal. I'm like, stop making them individual meals. You're not a short order cook. You know, when I grew up, we would have for dinner we'd have one choice, and if you didn't want to eat that one choice, you just go hungry.
You eat it for breakfast.
You eat it for breakfast. That's right. I'm like, there's a long way to go down before these kids will start getting abused. And so my kids have it really easy in a lot of ways, and I tend to be really hard on them in some ways, not necessarily because I'm overly spiritual, but I am just like the very masculine part of our relationship, and she's the very feminine, motherly part of our relationship.
Yeah, she's great.
But having difficulties is not a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing. Our intention, the whole thing is about as a parent, parenting is about, can I forgive and intend well? Can I engage in loving service to this other human that it's in my life that it's been instructed to me to support and to love the best I can. But my job is not for their life to turn out well. That is not a parent's job. It is not. And I've argued with it's not a good thing to get into with parents, but other people's life is their life. My job is to love and serve the best I can and to support. Your kid's life is their life. Your spouse's life.
Charlie, don't mess with the door. You're going to break the door. And I'm like, it's not your kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, give good advice for sure. I mean, I agree with Jared on that one. It's like, stop breaking my door.
It's not going to break its metal.
Oh, well, no. When they'll kick it open and it actually will bend the metal frame because of how much force is on it when it goes and it'll whole bend. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it could do that.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
But anyway, it all comes down to my intention. Is my intention loving service, or is my intention selfish gain? And it's really hard to decipher sometimes, because sometimes my selfish gain is subtly, will I look better as a parent? Or subtly, I just want peace right now because I'm sick of dealing with you. Or subtly, like all these little tiny things that I can't really put my finger on, but it's really not loving service.
Yeah. Sue, do you have similar situations with friends or coworkers?
It's 7:08 too.
Oh, shit.
I know you had time constraint.
I gotta do Charlie's hair for picture day. Go ahead.
Nice.
Sorry.
No, just I don't know. Trying to integrate here too, just because
So she's
it's so true that
I was gonna say you've been listening to these, playing them back immediately, like after, like the same day or the day after, to kind of review. Which I think I'm gonna start doing that too. Which is good.
It's different. Yeah, because like when we're in these, when you're in a conversation, there is a part of you that's like trying to figure out like what to say next. So it's like, but.
You don't have to every time.
Yeah, there's no requirement.
You asked right after you called on me. Like.
That's funny. Yeah, and by the way, the course is being a non-dual teaching. It's really weird. It says a bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense. And so sometimes it's okay to not agree because it is not true in our reality. It's as flat is not true in our reality. But there's another version of reality that we have to use words of our reality to explain, and it doesn't always fit. And so sometimes it's like, why is that? And then to disagree is a wonderful thing because it helps understanding for everyone, including the one who thinks they know. Like, maybe I think I have an answer, but being able to explain it in a new way brings new understanding. The Law of One calls that teach, learn, teach. You can't have one without the other. If you are teaching without learning, you're really not teaching. And if you're learning without actually teaching, be a part of that, you're really not learning.
And it's like just going back to what you were saying about whether you're subtly gaining something or if this is loving service. I feel like it's also, those are not necessarily exclusionary. And like back to one of our like earliest conversations, I think I got a little, like one of the first times when I got heated was when we were talking about altruism.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was expressing my belief that there is no such thing as true altruism, because every action we do, like if it is truly loving service or not, like there's always something that we get out of it, whether it's
that's what I told my mom when she said, does he charge you? I was like, no, he gets something out of it too.
Well, loving service is not selfless gain. It's not the same thing. Because loving service, the basis of it is to realize we're all the same self. That's the basis. And so, of course, you get something out of it. But it's seeing the sameness in the other, and that I can at least intend to help that other version of God.
Yeah. I saw a lady yesterday. She looked like she had some, like, Jared's like, those are like $100 Oakleys she has on. She's got like her mask on and she's asking for money. And we gave her, I think we had $1 in the thing. We're like, I think maybe the old us would have judged her and said, like, she obviously doesn't need it. She's not homeless, but like, we were like, if I was working at Walmart and like, not getting paid enough or whatever, and I needed extra money on the weekends to be able to afford certain things for my kids, like I'd probably be out there too,
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to judge, I think is what I'm trying to say, and now I'm like trying to see where I could be that person too, like out there asking for money.
Understanding leads to compassion leads to love. There's probably some other steps in there, but just to understand without ever changing, don't need to change any activity, but to understand what's happening, like my games and rackets, and being able to see how other people are hurting themselves too. Just understanding it's easier to lose my judgments a lot more.
Yeah, good.
Layla's on the way out.
You guys can talk.
Okay.
Well, thank you both.
Sorry,
I know I was teasing you earlier, but I'm grateful that you're.
I know. We are grateful.
I am quite